Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 68 of the Drop It Podcast. This podcast is tailor-made for those of you with weight to lose, those of you that are losing weight now, and those of you that are bathing in the success of your weight loss accomplishments. If it's your first time on the show, you've got a lot of episodes to go back and binge, and it's going to really help you stop binging food and any other emotional eating or mindset-related stuff that you're going through on your weight loss journey. So give it a listen. My name is Nick Geoppo. I lost 110 pounds in 2019, and I've kept it off for 6 years after a lifetime of losing and gaining back the same 50 to 75 pounds every single year for my entire life. On every diet you've ever heard of, keto, carnivore, intermittent fasting, if it fits your macros, obsessive MyFitnessPal counting, signing up for weight loss programs from people that were never even fat in the first place just to get my custom cookie cutter meal plan and workout routine and a once per week accountability check-in that was basically like, did you stick to your meal plan? No? Okay, well, let's do better next week. Yeah, been there. I'm sure you have too. I once bought a treadmill, put it in the garage, never used it, 6 months later moved, and then sold the treadmill at a loss on Craigslist and had to deal with the shame of realizing how much time I put into getting it, selling it, and never using it one time. So that's the lens that I'm speaking through. In 2019, I built something I call the Common Sense Diet System, put myself through it for about a year, lost about 110 pounds. And the reason why it worked is because it made things really simple, gave me easy structure to follow that I can do forever. So I'm still on the Common Sense Diet 6 years later, and I will be for the rest of my life because it's flexible, helped me learn balance, and completely transformed my mindset into one of a healthy person and my relationship with food. So now I naturally live a healthy lifestyle, and it takes me no discipline to keep the weight off because I changed my baseline habits. That's actually the only way to make permanent change, unless you want to be existing in some crazy disciplined thing, like always counting calories or always on a diet for the rest of your life. This is the way if you don't want to do that. So the people you see on Instagram that are like keto influencers, recognize that they're actually still on keto. Think of how crazy that is. Or the people you see that are doing all these low calorie, high protein recipes and they lost, 60 pounds 2 years ago and they're still doing them. They're still doing those fucking recipes. Think of how crazy that is. They're still looking for new low calorie, they're still doing this extreme obsessiveness, and it's just not what I wanted for my life. If you relate to that and you want things to be a little easier in the long run, and you're willing to put some discipline in the beginning to actually change your habits with an existing structure that is actually proven to work for me and others, then this is the podcast for you, and the Common Sense Diet System is something that you should strongly consider. If that's not where you're at and you haven't tried some of the quick fixes that a lot of the followers have tried, like the ones that I listed before, then honestly, it sounds fucked up. It probably is going to take you going and trying some of those things first to realize that they don't work, because everybody believes that they work until they try them, sometimes for 30 to 40 years in a row in some cases, before they start looking for something more sustainable and actually questioning their own mindset, their own habits, and what it's going to take to step into the healthy person they want to be. If that's you, then you're going to find this podcast episode especially helpful, because today we're talking all about self-talk and self-belief through the lens of what I call mirror work. Mirror, M-I-R-R-O-R. Kind of slur that R a little bit. Mirror work. The reason why this is so important is because when you look at yourself in the mirror, that is the most important relationship in your life. You are with yourself every single second of every single fucking day. And if you don't like who you are as a person, or what you see when you look at yourself, that fucking sucks. And it's going to be like that forever. Forever. Unless you actually address being able to look at yourself in the mirror and practice acceptance and finding comfort. Imagine somebody that you don't like. Seriously, for when I was fat as fuck, I fucking hated myself. I fucking hated myself. And I fucking hated being fat. I hated being fat so bad I would have been homeless. I would have rather lived homeless under a bridge and not been fat than been fat with all the money in the fucking world. I mean, that's how bad I hate. That's how much I want to change, right? So that's the lens that I'm speaking through, because this is what actually worked for me. If you don't resonate with my story, then this probably isn't going to work for you, right? But I fucking hated it. And when I look at myself in the mirror, it's not like I was really sad. I would just completely dissociate. So I'd look at myself in the mirror and just kind of like act like I wasn't really seeing myself in the mirror. But what I would do first is whenever I'd walk into the bathroom, if I didn't have a shirt on or something, I would put a shirt on just to walk into the bathroom. I would put a shirt on just to go and brush my teeth in the morning. So I'd sleep with no shirt on because I would sweat so fucking bad that I'd sweat through my sheets every night and smell like shit. And I didn't want to shower in the morning. So to stop sweating, I would sleep without a shirt on. But when I would go to the bathroom to brush my teeth in the morning, I would put a t-shirt on just to brush my teeth because I don't want to see my body, right? And then I would go change into my work clothes that it was not the same shirt. So I'd put a shirt on just to brush my teeth. That's the level of hatred that I had for my body, especially, but also for myself at the same time. So what I did, I kept finding myself in this thought of like, when I lose weight, then I'll practice feeling better about myself. After I lose weight, then I'll practice feeling better about myself. And it comes from the same place as like, after I lose weight, then I'll figure out sustainability. It's like, no, you fucking won't. No, you fucking won't. Nobody ever has done that. Ever. I've never met a single person that lost weight doing some bullshit and then figured out sustainability. Ever. And I personally have never met somebody that was like, that had success in being truly comfortable with themselves that did not address it on the journey itself. What I'm saying is that if you're uncomfortable with yourself, which you probably are, right? And that's okay. It's okay that this is where we're at. I was there my whole fucking life. God damn it. Until 5 or 6 years ago. My whole life. It's okay that this is where you are. It's not okay if this is where we are in a year. So we're going to start today, and we're going to fucking change this piece today. This is a part of the common sense diet system that I coach, and I know that this is the part that is most regularly skipped by my own clients. And it's the part of the conversation that a lot of my clients don't want to have. And I've got to talk them through the ability to have this conversation because this is actually some of the most important work that you can do for your whole life. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up right now as our fat selves to the mirror on this podcast. And we're going to practice. We're not going to wait to find comfort until we lose weight. We're going to practice finding acceptance and comfort right now so that there is no how do I keep the weight off. We're practicing doing what healthy people do right now. And what healthy people do is they look themselves in the mirror when they brush their fucking teeth. So we're going to practice. If you're driving the car, pause the episode, come back to it when you're home. If you're home, get up. Let's get into the bathroom or get into not a public space in your house. If you live with other people, let's go to the bathroom and close the door. It's just me and you. Grab some earphones. No one's going to know that you're doing this. Oh, maybe they will. That'll be okay. And we're going to go stand in front of the mirror. Don't look at yourself. Make sure you got clothing on. Don't look at yourself yet. Look off to the side or above or down low or whatever. And in just a second, we're going to look up and we're going to look at our eyes for just 2 seconds. And then we're going to look down. All right. So on the count of 3, we're just going to look up. We're going to look at our eyes for 2 seconds. And then we're going to look down. 1, 2, 3. Look up. Look back down. Now let's take a breath. What just came up for you? It might be a really negative emotion. You might be feeling a lot of sadness, potentially even some tears and some crying. Might be anger, might be frustration, shame, guilt. Might be pride, happiness. Might be nothing. For me, a lot of the times it was just nothingness. I felt plain, didn't feel anything, struggled to even understand what I was feeling, just kind of dissociated from it. That's all totally okay. We're not trying to change any feelings. We're just trying to understand what we are feeling. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look up at our bodies, meaning your chest, your boobs, your tits, your man tits, your stomach, with our clothes on the count of 3, same thing for just 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, look up, and look back down. And what did that feel like? Was it very positive, very negative, kind of neutral? Don't even know, can't really associate with it. Whatever it is, it's totally fine. We're accepting ourselves for exactly what we feel, not for how our bodies are, but just this is what we felt. And that's totally okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our face right up on the mirror, like as close as you can get your eyeball to the mirror. You can even press your forehead up against the mirror. We're going to look into our own eyes, and let's go do that right now. And the reason why, and hold this, look into your right eye. So put your hand under your right eye and look right into the middle of that right eyeball. Look at the whites of your eye. Look at the black ring. Look at the color of your eye. Mine's brown. And look at the pupil. The black hole right in the middle of your eye. Look into there. and hold this. We're going to hold this for a couple minutes. It's going to get a little uncomfortable. It'll get comfortable after about 30 more seconds. You'll find more comfort here. Your ability to sit here is the same ability. Your comfort in sitting here is your same comfort in not eating your emotions with food. So you're still looking at yourself in the mirror. You've probably never looked at yourself for this long ever in your whole fucking life. Most people never actually have, right? But you and I aren't like most people. We've had unhealthy mindsets, unhealthy relationships with food, and now we're fat. And most healthy people haven't needed to do this because they've just naturally had a bit of a better relationships with themselves. So now we got to step into some unbalance of doing some crazier things so that we can learn the things that they've already been practicing their whole lives and have already felt their whole lives. And that's okay, because it's not going to be like this forever. Keep holding it. You're a minute in right now. We're doing another minute, maybe two. Just stay here. Take a really big breath. Stick your stomach out when you breathe. You shouldn't be able to see your stomach or your body. You're just looking into your eye. This is who you actually are. You are not your body. You're not even your own thoughts or your own mind or your own impulsive thoughts or your urges or you're not even your own desires. You're an observer of all of these things. So while you're looking into your eye, say out loud, I am not my body, but this is my body. So you own your body, but you are not your body. It's the first thing to say. I am not my body, but this is my body. But it's not actually who you are, but it is yours to keep and to maintenance and to take care of. And you can step back from the mirror now. You can look away if you need to, if it's a little uncomfortable. Shake out for a second, right? Bounce up and down on your knees. Let it be weird. Let it be goofy. Like, reset ourselves for a second. You can turn around and face the wall. You don't have to look at the mirror. We're going to turn around in just 1 second. We're going to look back at the mirror and we're going to practice radical honesty. Because the only way that you can have a healthy relationship with yourself is if you are radically honest with yourself. That doesn't mean we're hating on ourselves or being mean to ourselves. It means that we're really honest with ourselves, and everybody's different. So take a second and think about what this is like for you, right? For me, I did not love myself at all when I was fat. I had a lot of hatred for myself, strong dislike for who I was, strong dislike for how I spent my time, strong dislike for the things that I thought about, strong dislike for the part of myself that was spent realistically 80 to 90% of my free thought was thinking about how much I wish I was skinny, which I now realize skinny and healthy aren't the same thing, but I couldn't see that at the time, right? I just wanted to be skinny, and I hated myself for not doing the things that I knew I could do to be skinny. So I'd always be like, I know how to lose weight. I just don't know how to keep it off. If you find yourself saying that, that's a problem, right? Because weight loss doesn't actually mean anything. The reason that doesn't work is because you're thinking you're going to lose weight and then figure out how to keep it off instead of just addressing sustainability from the beginning, which is what we're actually doing right now in the mirror. Right? So we're going to turn back around here in 1 second. And what I said to myself over and over and over and over again was, I do not love myself. And the reason that I do not feel love for myself is because I do not respect or trust myself. And the reason why I do not respect or trust myself is because I've been saying that I'm going to try something forever, and then I feel like I just keep quitting. So it makes sense that I feel like that. I am committing to, from now on, doing my very best on this journey because I recognize that I can develop self-love and self-trust and self-respect by practicing living the lifestyle of somebody that actually loved themselves and by actually taking care of myself like a loved one. And then I started asking myself while I was in the mirror, if I loved myself, what would I do? And I would always end it with, I desire to love myself. And I'm open to the possibility of developing love for myself. I do not, and that was just my pure radical honesty. Is that the best self-help thing to fucking say? Probably not. But you know what is not the right thing to say? Looking in the mirror going, I love myself, when you don't. Because you'll never keep the weight off if you don't actually trust the things that you're saying. Your words are spells. The things you say matter so much because they dictate your thoughts and your actions and how you feel. So if you don't love yourself, if you fucking hate how fat you are and you're looking in the mirror going, I love myself, if that's not the truth, you are just fucking yourself constantly. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself the actual fucking truth. And mine was, dude, I don't love you, man. I don't, but I want to. Like, I fucking want to. And I recognize that all of the self-love, all of the self-respect, and all of the self-trust, all of the self-belief is going to be found in this journey. And I'm committed to doing this journey with you, brother. I'm right here. Come on, Nick. I'm right here, Nick. Everything I need is right here in this mirror. This is the most important relationship to me. It's my relationship with you in the mirror, with me, with myself. Because if I don't like myself, how the fuck am I ever going to like my job? How the fuck am I ever going to show up for my future wife, for my future kids in a way that's going to really be meaningful for them when I don't even fucking like myself? I'm not. Nobody ever has. You have to find a way to give a fuck about yourself. And the way that you do it, if you don't, is you say, I don't give a fuck about myself right now, but I desire to give a fuck about myself, and I'm open to the possibility of developing a fuck to give about myself over time. And I'm going to do it through addressing my relationship with myself the same way that I am right now. And actually, now that I think about it, I actually gained a little bit of respect for myself for even really getting up and looking in the mirror and doing this on this podcast, because almost no one listening to this podcast will actually do this. Think of how crazy that is. So there will be probably somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people will listen to this podcast within the first month of it being released. Realistically, I would guess that 2 to 3 people are actually going to do this while they listen to the podcast. So those are the 2 or 3 people that will actually lose weight and keep it off. The beauty is that you get to decide, and that's some tough love. Whoo, is that some tough love? But I wish somebody told me that, because it would have saved me a lot of time, because I felt like I was out of control. You're actually in complete control, and your willingness to look at yourself in the mirror and to sit with this and to build this mental muscle and to sit with any emotion that comes up without fucking looking away or running out of the bathroom, to actually sit here, even if you're full on crying for 60 minutes, full crying for 60 fucking minutes in the mirror, or full laughing, or full hatred, scowling at yourself, fucking flipping your middle finger self off in the mirror, whatever it is, to sit there and hold that and let it out of your fucking body. Scream in the mirror. Tell yourself the fucking truth. Enough is enough, and I'm fed the fuck up. And I've been doing this for fucking years. For fucking years. My whole life. And my whole life would have been different had I just addressed this when I was fucking 21 years old. But I didn't. I waited until I was 47. And now I've got diabetes, and I'm in a fucking wheelchair, and I'm on all these fucking medications, and I feel like dog shit, and I'm fucking sick of it. And the reason why I'm speaking to myself like this is because I want to fucking love myself. It's because I want it so bad. I want to feel good about my life so fucking bad. I would do anything, including looking at myself in the mirror, even though it's fucking cheesy. Like, when you learn how to speak to yourself like that, it can feel in the moment like that is self-hatred. But what you're actually doing is practicing self-love and self-respect, because you're telling yourself the truth. You have to tell yourself the truth. And the truth is that as you start to build this muscle of telling yourself the truth and looking at yourself, right, and sitting with the emotion, being able to hold the negativity without eating it, that's actually one of the biggest things that's going to help you have the healthy mindset that you need, that healthy people actually need. This is how you stop coping with food. Don't cope with the emotion. Sit with the emotion. And then the next time you come home from work and you're stressed out because all the fucking kids and the fucking husband, isn't getting home till 8. I got to figure out dinner for everyone at 8. Let me just eat it, because they're going to be 2 hours. I'm going to fucking get some McDonald's because whatever. And then I'll eat a second dinner later. It's like you're just coping with your emotion and the negativity. And when you practice this mirror work in this way, you are going to build comfort with negative emotion. Because there's negative emotion just raging inside of you that you're suppressing with food and Netflix and fucking alcohol and weed and porn and binging fucking podcasts and then not actually taking any action. It's like they're all just forms of regulating our system and dissociating from what it is that we actually think that we should be doing and actually deserve to do at the end of the day, which is to address these parts of our lives. Like, God, my God, I want that for you so bad. I want that for you so bad. And I'm literally looking in a mirror right now, visualizing me speaking to myself in 2018, 2019, when I was 274 pounds. I want that for you so fucking bad. I would give every single fucking anything, every penny I ever made, ever will make the rest of my life, every relationship I've ever cultivated or would have cultivated ever for you to have that feeling. Ever. It is. And what happens over time is you start developing a healthy mindset. You get 2 to 3 weeks into taking care of yourself and actually living a healthy lifestyle, whether that's on the common sense diet system or you just doing your own thing. Well, I don't care, right? Whatever it is that you're doing, when you start stacking some healthy memories, not some obsessive memories of weighing all your fucking food, not some keto memories, but some actual healthy memories. Oh man, I went to that pizza place and I ate 1.5 pieces of pizza instead of 4. And the way that I did it was I practiced. I looked at it like practice, and then you develop a little bit of pride. Then you go look in the mirror at the bathroom of that pizza place and you go, fuck, I'm in the driver's seat of my own life and this pizza, and I'm not controlled by food anymore. I'm a different person. Then you go home and you brush your teeth. You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're remembering, my God, this could really be it. I can't believe I'm looking at myself in the mirror. And then you start losing 20, 30 pounds. You start feeling better about your life and you just tangibly look a little healthier probably most of the time, right? It's not a definitive thing. Well, I'm not saying all fat people look like shit. I looked like absolute dog shit when I was fat. That's not the case for everybody. In my case, I look substantially better as I lost weight. So it would make sense that I would feel a little better looking in the mirror when I looked a little better, and that other people would think I looked a little better. And that's just the truth that we all know. It sucks to say it's the truth, right? And you mix that with actually feeling better about yourself and continuing to look in that eye, not at the body, you're looking at the eye, and speak yourself the truth. And over time, you start saying things like, I have a healthy mindset and I live a healthy lifestyle. My body just hasn't caught up yet, but it will over time. And I'm not putting a specific time limit on losing 27 pounds by August 24th. Just it's going to catch up over time. I'm not as focused on the scale. I'm just really focused on the actions that I'm taking and what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling about myself. Because my relationship with myself and my relationship with food are directly tied to each other. And my ability to hold a negative emotion and find acceptance, not necessarily comfort. It makes sense that you're uncomfortable looking in the mirror, but to find acceptance for that discomfort and to be able to hold it and to continue to look at myself even though I feel uncomfortable is actually the biggest thing that's going to dictate the sustainability of what I'm doing. And my willingness, if you're willing to do that, then you'll be willing to get out of bed in the morning and go on a walk. You'll be much more willing to make healthy choices, right? This is where it starts. And this is the part that people skip because it's fucking hard. And we think, I can just shortcut, quick fix. No, you can't. I promise. If you could, I would have already done it. If anyone in the world would have done it, it would have been me. I tried them all. This is all there is. Your relationship with yourself is all that there actually is at the end of the fucking day, is how do you feel about your own life? So look in the mirror, get real with yourself. The reason why this is coming up for me, I have a long-term one-on-one client that I work with who just came down and did a weekend immersive with me in Austin, Texas. And we went and we did this in the mirror. And I guided her through like exactly how to practice this. And we did it together and all this emotion came up and it was crying and tears and a lot of negative emotion. And I just walk her through the ability to hold this exact same thing, a little more condensed, right? A little tailored to her, not so generic. Everyone's situation's a little bit different, right? And it just got down to, okay, well, it doesn't feel like you love yourself. If you didn't love yourself, would you even have a desire to love yourself? That's kind of a weird question, but yeah, okay. If you didn't love yourself, would you even be still listening to this podcast episode? If you didn't desire to love yourself, would you still be listening to this podcast episode? With her, it was if you didn't love yourself, would you have flown out here to Austin to have this immersive in the first place? No, absolutely not, right? So it's like logically, we're recognizing that the action that we just took actually is one of a loving person, which means that there is a possibility there's a little bit of self-love there, right? And we can tap into that over time. So what I did with her is we looked in the mirror and we did it right there with her, right? And we just, with our eyes closed, we give ourselves a big fucking hug. A big hug. Like, grab that body. Try to grab your shoulders if you can. If you can't, just do the best that you can to give yourself a hug. And open the eyes. Look into your eyes, not your body. And say whichever one's true for you. I got a little bit of love for myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be getting out of bed in the morning. I desire to have more love for myself. And I recognize I'm going to find that in this journey. Boom. That's truth. That's facts. Feel the truth in that. Practice saying that. Or whatever. Tailor it to you. You know? When you step into this sort of work, your entire life is going to change. And the way that you feel about the sustainability of your journey is going to change as well. When the emotions come up, sit with the emotion. Sit with the discomfort. Because that's the same way that you sit with the emotion and the discomfort of cravings, of wanting to binge, of wanting to cope. It's the exact same thing, and this actually is the path forward, especially for those of you that are on the weekdays and off on the weekends and losing weight, restarting every Monday. This literally is the way out of the fucking cycle of the yo-yo dieting that I did my whole fucking life. If you made it to the end of the podcast episode and you want to work with me on your journey, you can do that by clicking the link in the description of this podcast episode or this YouTube video. Fill out a short form. It's going to take you about 3 minutes. If you meet the qualifications on that form, it'll take you straight to my calendar to book a call with me, and I'll walk you through exactly what every single thing is, and we can figure out if it's the right thing for the both of us to be together, to do together. And if it is, then we'll do it. And this is a big piece of the work. It's a big piece of the work that people skip. So if you need accountability to actually walk through this sort of thing and all of the other pieces too, that's what I've dedicated my life to do. So maybe talk to you soon. Maybe not. Either way, you absolutely have what it takes to lose weight, and you absolutely have what it takes to keep the weight off forever. You absolutely have what it takes to develop a healthy relationship with yourself, because all relationships are actually developed, including your relationship with your parents, your kids, your spouse, your fucking teacher, your coworker, your boss, your employee, whatever. You didn't have a relationship in the beginning. You've actually been developing a relationship with yourself over the course of your whole life. You've just been doing it negatively, and you can save this relationship. You can. This isn't a failed marriage. You can save this relationship. You actually have no other choice. You're going to sit in the failed marriage for the rest of your fucking life? In the miserable marriage to yourself for the rest of your life? Absolutely not. This can turn around. This will turn around. This is turning around literally right now. See y'all next week.